Well, hello guys, and welcome back to part 4 of Let's Play Crash Bandicoot n.sane Trilogy. We have just got the tedious, the high road and slippery climb out of the way, so now we are moving on to the levels where we start ascending into Cortex's castle. So the first one is, of course, Lights Out. Which is actually a pretty interesting level because, as you probably all know, if you've ever tried to 100% the first Crash Bandicoot game, you have to get the coloured gem from the lab in order to get the coloured gem from this level, of which the coloured gem from this level is required to fully complete Boulder Dash. So there's sort of like a three-way pattern to this here. And I do actually enjoy the level Lights Out, even though I've got to backtrack and do it again. But I've just always liked the level Lights Out. One level I'm not too happy, that I don't really enjoy the most, is very similar to this. I think it's called Fumbling in the Dark. I just don't find it as fun as this. And I find it a little bit tedious and frustrating, because you seem to have to run out of light from your Aku Aku before you get to the next one, so you sort of like have to guess where you're jumping. And also that backtracking section at the beginning where you have to jump to the sides to break them through a few crates is just, I don't exactly see it as necessary. So I don't exactly see it fun like Lights Out. But regardless, it is another dark level, so there's only 2 dark levels in the game. Not that I would count Jaws of Darkness and what is it? Temple. I think it's Temple Ruins. I won't class them as dark levels because you're not exactly using the Aku Aku mask to get light in those levels. So here goes Jaws of Darkness, which is probably my favourite level in the whole game. I mean, I enjoy Temple Ruins obviously, but I just like Jaws of Darkness. I just like its level design. I like the length of the level. And how did I die straight away? That was just totally pathetic. You can tell me off in the comment section if you want, because that was just ridiculous. Thankfully there's no coloured gem to collect from this level, so it doesn't matter that I have died. So now this is like one area where you've got to like be really careful with the controls. I never had an issue with this section of the level in the original games. However, in n.sane Trilogy, you've got to be careful how far you jump in, because you can very easily jump too far. Because as many of you probably know, they seem to have given Crash 1, Crash 2 and 3 controls. And I did not actually need to go for that crate, so I don't know why I attempted that, because I've only ended up getting myself hurt and now I have no Aku Aku mask. However, I am very shortly going to be getting invincibility, because I do have the blue gem, so I can take the blue gem path. And that's one thing I like as well, they've made these gems bigger now to stand on, whereas you had to like perfectly like balance on them before, but now that's no longer the case. And that's always where I used to miss a crate as a kid. I used to always like jump up here. I used to forget to jump up here and miss that crate, so that's why I was always missing one box. I thought the game was like broken, but it was not. It was me. So now I get invincibility around here, which is probably absolutely no use whatsoever, because there's no enemies around here. However, I suppose it does make breaking these crates easier. And if I can make it to the next TNT, which I probably won't, So you can destroy that without risking getting hurt. Which I just didn't actually make it. And now this is another area where you've got to be really, really careful, because I always used to spin this snake here into that TNT crate, which is not what you want to be doing. Because if you do that, you end up losing your Cortex token, so you can't do the Neo Cortex bonus round. And this is quite tricky, this bonus round, because you've got to get your jumping correct. It's the next one mainly which is the hardest. Well, what people mainly do is to jump on the second box here, where I jump on them both, and then what I do is I jump in the air when it's about to explode. I usually use an Akko mask for this, but I just think it's more better than like risking dying, which you're actually more likely to die doing it the other way. I'd say it's probably the hardest bonus round in the game, from the exception of the Brio bonus round in Stormy Ascent. However, that wasn't exactly in the original game until a cheat code made it accessible. I don't know why this is like the first time I've actually done a Let's Play series like this on this channel. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy doing the Crash Team Racing Let's Play. But this is like the first proper Let's Play, and I've also done the Spyro Reignited Trilogy Let's Play, and to be honest, I'm actually pretty much enjoying doing them. You know, it saves me... crap. It saves me from being bored, so... I actually find it quite entertaining doing these Let's Play series, and I'm definitely looking forward to doing a Let's Play series of Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled when it's soon released. Which is not much longer to go now. Of which I'm very much hyped and looking forward to Nitro Fueled coming out. Because Crash Team Racing, as you probably know, is my second favourite Crash Bandicoot game of all time. That's with the first one being Crash Cortex Strikes Back and the third one being Twin Insanity. So now we're on to the next level, which is of course Castle Machinery. Now this is something pretty interesting that they've changed up here. Usually you can go up here and collect all of the what is it, the lives. You know, the Crash Face lives. So you'd have thought that you'd have had to be able to collect the clock and go that way to get a quick platinum, but nope, they've made it so that the platinum, well, the timer start trigger is on here. So you have to do the whole level if you want to do a time trial. Which is a pretty interesting twist, and it actually makes sense that they've done that, because I mean, to be able to take the shortcut after having the green gem and getting an easy platinum would just make the game pretty boring, and a lot of people would cheat. Even people who are not speedrunners would cheat. I don't know why, but for some reason I've actually always enjoyed Castle Machinery more than Heavy Machinery. Which is pretty interesting, they've got very similar names when they're actually the same sort of like design of level, but just different layouts. And the length of this level is actually pretty decent as well. Which actually I like decent length levels, because actually the levels in this game are not too long and they're not too short, so I think they've actually nailed it here. And this could probably be one of the contributing factors to why Crash Bandicoot has been such a success back in the day. It's just a shame that I didn't get the same sort of reports back in 2017. Same for Reignited Trilogy as well, sadly. However, as I've said before, I never go by what the media says. Because, I mean, if you believe the media on everything, I'd say you're a fool, because, I mean, to be honest, the media do get a lot of things wrong. And I'm definitely not saying the remasters are bad, but of course the originals will always, like, be a place for in my heart, because, I mean, the original games, I mean, what's better? But the remasters are certainly not bad. In fact, I'd say they're excellent. In fact, I'd go as far as saying they're outstanding. The only thing I'm not too keen on in n.sane Trilogy, the most, is the way they've changed the controls. They just seem a bit looser and heavier. And sort of like more dulled down. So of course I've collected a gem from Castle Machinery without a single death, so I'd actually consider that an achievement. So here goes the fourth boss, which is Dr. Nitrus Brio, which is probably one of my favourite characters from the Crash Bandicoot franchise. It's just such a shame that he only appeared in the first Crash game, although he did make brief appearances in Twinsanity. But I would have loved to see him in Crash Team Racing, and I'm hoping I see him in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled when the remaster's released. Because he sure is a good character and he sure is one of my favourites. And I'm also hoping to see Spyro in Nitro Fueled as well, because I just can't see a reason why he would not be featured in Nitro Fueled. I would say Spyro and Crash are just such great characters. He definitely deserves to be in Nitro Fueled when it comes out, guys. Definitely. So now it like changes into his like sort of like Frankenstein form, which has actually been made a little bit harder in Reignited Trilogy. Well, not Reignited Trilogy, n.sane Trilogy. I keep confusing the two and I really need to stop that. Although this was the boss in the beta version of Crash Bandicoot where you could not complete. You couldn't actually pass this boss because it used to crash. So in the beta version, this is as far as you can get. I'm not sure if there was a workaround for that, there might have been. Not too sure, but I definitely remember that it was. And of course you can do Stormy Ascent now, and you can also take a shortcut back to Insanity Beach, which will be very handy when we've got the gem from the lab, which is the level we're going to be doing now, which might take multiple attempts. Because this level is pretty tricky to get the gem on. And don't even get me started on how hard it is to even get the gold relic, let alone the platinum relic in this level. The time requirement's just so tight. You've just got to be so precise to get the relic on this level. Or the platinum relic anyway. For which I don't exactly think I'm going to be going for any relics in this speedrun. Of course we will be going for them in Crash Warp because they are compulsory in order to unlock some of the levels, like some of the gem paths and stuff. And I actually managed to make that jump first time. However, they're not exactly important and they don't contribute to your percentage. Same as skill points in Reignited Trilogy. And this applies to Crash 1 and Crash Cortex Strikes Back, which is the second game, as you probably know. So that is the last Torna bonus round completed. Which just leaves Brio ones from now on. Of course we are going to have to go back into some Torna bonus rounds as we go back collecting the gems. Because now boxes do in the bonus rounds do count towards gems, which they didn't in the original game. Thank goodness for that though, because I mean, imagine not having to die in the bonus round and having to get the gems as well. That'd be hell. Hopefully I can get to him before I get stunned. No! So now I've got to exit out of the level, and I've got to do it again, because otherwise I cannot get the gem, which is really, really sad. Thankfully we're not too long into the video, because I don't want my render times to be too long. So this was the part where I died last time, so hopefully this will not happen again, and thankfully it did not. This has always been a tricky part in the original game, which thank goodness they've actually made easier, because this blob doesn't respawn anymore. And it was actually that blob, well I just say blob, well it's like that goo ball, that made it a pain in the ass in the original game. I say the hardest part in this level now, I'd say, is the bit I died on before. So here we go, that is the gem. So that is now the lab completed. So now goes the next level, which is probably the shortest and easiest level in the whole game. Which is of course the Great Hall, because all you got to do is just jump over here, and there you go, the level's completed already. If I was saying that, there is actually an alternative way out, so that level actually does have a purpose, because it's actually the level that also triggers the 100% ending. So what we're going to do in this part as well, I thought I'd include the Dr. Neo Cortex bonus round as well. Because it's actually pretty short and it's pretty easy to defeat. I'd actually say that he's actually the hardest Cortex boss in the original trilogy. As I was saying, the hardest Cortex, as I said before, is probably, I'm kind of torn between Crash Wrath of Cortex and Crash of the Titans one. Although I'd say that the Crash Wrath of Cortex boss is the hardest. In my opinion anyway. Some of you may think different. But I think out of the original trilogy it's got to be this one. Because to be fair, the one in Warped isn't too bad. And the one in Cortex Strikes Back, oh gosh. That was ridiculously easy for a final boss. That would kind of like ridiculous, that. And you got to be careful now, cause I think you could do it in the original game as well, if I'm not mistaken. And I died. I got fizzled out by his laser gun, which is pretty rare for me to die in this. But as I say, it's the hardest out of the trilogy. But as I say, the final boss in Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back was ridiculously easy. I mean, I was kind of disappointed about how easy that boss is, especially for the last boss. If any boss is to be hard out of that game, I'd probably say it's Engine. But I'd say my favourite Cortex boss battle in the original trilogy has got to be the one from Warped. I don't know if it's because I like the music to it, but I do like the soundtrack to that. And I died again! Ow! I'm not doing too well on this today. I've always actually struggled on this boss. I don't know why. Got to be third time lucky, ain't it? Got to be. So it just takes one more hit now, which should just be a straight up shoot of the green bolt. Third time lucky, I knew I'd do it. And I have. And that scream at the end sort of reminds me of something from Twinsanity. Anyway, here's the 100% ending. Skip the ending credits because you've probably seen it all 100 times before anyway if you've played this game and completed it. So that is that. And speaking of that 100% ending, by the way, I actually like what Vicarious Visions have done with that, because it's actually showing you an introduction to Crash Cortex Strikes Back, the same as if you were 100% the game. What's the game? Cortex Strikes Back, like the game I just mentioned. It shows you the introduction partly to Crash Warped. You know, then part of the ship falling, which obviously falls and breaks into Uka's prison and frees him. So anyway, that is that. That is part 4 of Let's Play Crash Bandicoot n.sane Trilogy. I sure hope you all enjoyed it, guys and gals. So I'll sure see you all in the next part, where we'll be doing the bonus levels. And also collecting the rest of the gems and doing Stormy Ascents in the part coming. So, I'll see you all till then. And I sure hope you enjoyed the video, so thank you for watching.